Hello, everybody. Welcome. Let me get rid of this window here. Plus, let's get rid of this. How's everybody doing? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Welcome to the green room. Welcome to July. Welcome to July Copy Hour. Sorry, I'm just I have a different setup here down in the green room. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate you guys taking another journey with me, or potentially your first journey. I need to make sure that
rid of this window
make
here.
sure that that's not
Plus,
happening.
Get rid of this.
All right, so that doesn't screw me up any more than it already just did. So you're here in Copy Hour. You're either in the Facebook group right now, or you are on YouTube watching this live with me here. Things are going to be a little bit different here to start this July round of Copy Hour. I am thinking about a way that we can seamlessly switch off of Facebook for kind of the Copy Hour members group. Hi, George. And that's kind of where my head's at right now, trying to figure out the best way that I can get all this content to you guys and keep doing some live calls and whatnot. So the format of things might change a little bit, but it shouldn't really affect you too much on your side. So what I'm going to do now, hi, Paven. What I'm going to do now is kind of jump into the mechanics of how this all works, and we can go from there. So a couple extremely or just very important things. First of all, you should have gotten your email already for number one. Okay, day number one should have already showed up immediately after you signed up and signed into the form in the Copy Hour members area. So after you join, there's a start here, start the course or welcome to the course page, and you should have already headed over there and entered in your name and email address. And we have to do that. You have to enter in your name and email address. We can't like automatically add you or do it because of time zone concerns. So I want those emails to show up at about 6 p.m. Your local time the night before. So you should also receive number two automatically tonight at around 6 p.m. if you've already signed up. So I just wanted to show you real quick where this is, and I think I need to make myself a little bit smaller here. So head into the Copy Hour members portal, and this is the new look. Just a quick note for anybody that's in daily email income, you'll be added to this course within the members area very soon. There's not a whole lot that we need to put in there because it's the majority of that course lives directly in your email inbox. But we will have a section for you in here. So if you don't have access to that right now, don't worry about it. Slack is a good option. There's another one that I found as well that we might take a look at. And yeah, Slack is definitely a good option. Okay, so welcome to the course. This is where you want to go to find this form here, right? So this is the form that is going to get you onto the assignments. So hopefully you guys have already done that and we're all good there. If not, this brings up another point too. I saw some people emailing within or messaging within the Facebook group. Direct all of your support questions, account questions. If you want a refund, which why would you ever want that? Direct all those questions to support@copyhour.com. All right, there was a little period last round where we had some issues with the ticketing system, but those issues are gone. Support@copyhour.com is going to get you the fastest support. I've got my wife working on that support chat, and then I'm also probably going to be hiring somebody very soon to help out there as well, another new person. So email there. That's the best way to get in contact with us. I am not constant. I'm like very minimally on Facebook these days. So if you send something to Facebook, there's a really good chance I'm not ever going to see it. So just make sure you're using support@copyhour.com for any sort of issues that you might have. Just real quick, within the Copy Hour course itself, actually I just wanted to show you overall. Within the CopyHour course itself, there's module 1, module 2, module 3. So these modules are going to, for the most part, coincide with what we're doing in CopyHour. So during week 1, we're starting to do our research. And research is something that just takes, all of the weeks. So it's something you're going to be doing throughout. But week 1, we'll follow this. So like week 1, we're doing our research. Then week 2, we're going to be building our offer or talking about the offer. And all these, the course, in my mind, CopyHour lives in your email inbox. That's how I designed it. That's how I wanted it to be. I added these modules, added this training backend because I think it was important to kind of house some of this information and get it into a place where you could log in and see it all at once after you've taken the course. But my preference really is that everything lives in your email inbox, and then after you've gone through CopyHour once, then you're kind of checking out all this stuff. Although this stuff is completely fine to check out, I just don't want you to get overwhelmed by the amount of information that's in the members area. And again, in my mind, CopyHour is an email delivered course, and I love it like that. I think that's the best way to learn, little chunks at a time, and so you don't get overwhelmed, you don't jump ahead. That's how we go to class. That's how you typically study, is like one little thing at a time. One thing builds on the next. If you get everything all at once, yeah, it like feels like there's more value there, but really what's happening is you're getting overwhelmed. There's just so much stuff to take in. So live in your email inbox. Most of the directions are in there. When you need this, the members area is here for you. Okay, so that's the members area. Let's talk about Facebook for a second. There's a lot of stuff in Facebook. We have lived in Facebook for years. For years now, I have been with this Facebook group. We have transitioned it to a members-only Facebook group. So this is for people that have only joined the course. In the past, it was open to anybody. There are still people that have not paid for the course that are in here, but for the most part, we are in Facebook now as members only. So there's a lot that can be done within this group. There's a lot of questions that you can ask if you want to ask them. For posting up email assignments, and this might change depending on what we end up doing, but for posting your emails and posting pictures of your assignments, head into events. And I know this is a little bit of an extra step, and it's not exactly extremely intuitive here. Maybe a brow can help me out and bump these back up. A brow, this gentleman here, awesome, Abe. He is kind of our social media manager. So if there's anything that you need to do or questions that you have about the Facebook group and how it works, direct them to Abe. But you can jump in here into week 1, and then you can see. So I went to the top, I went to events, and then within events, you can see all of the different questions that people might have, some proof of practice, so you can post your handwriting pictures here if you'd like. You can ask questions in there, and then there's also there should be the videos in here as well from past assignments where you can see, and I'm not sure exactly. Maybe Abe can tell me where the videos are, because there's a bunch of videos that I filmed for all these different assignments within Facebook, so you can watch those videos. So hopefully maybe Abe can direct me to where all those videos are. And you can see the different videos for the different days of assignments. All right. Please no Slack. All right. Yeah. So I mean that is definitely, it is kind of distracting for sure. So the video should be in here somewhere, but maybe Abe can help us and figure out where those videos exactly are going. And so that's the Facebook group. Try to keep your pictures to these particular posts, right? It's just going to kind of like mess up the main members area if everybody's posting their photos in there. And again, this might change very soon, so I don't want to go too deeply into this, but go into the events tab and post your photos, and anything that's like just a quick photo, post that in there. If you have like a question that you want answered, then you can post it to the main homepage. And if it's like a question that you think would benefit the entire group, if it's a support question, please post that to support. Please send that to support. We don't want to clog up the members area. Not picking on Deepak here, but this one here probably should have just been an email to support, and you would have gotten that support very quickly. So that's kind of how you want to approach this. So these type of things might be better served in some different areas within the events tab, unless you have like a question that you think could be beneficial to the entire group, in which case, please post that to the main area. We can take a look at it, and we can go from there. So that's just a little bit of housekeeping on the groups and how it works. The next thing that we should probably talk about are the hand copying, right? And how this all works. But before I do that, let me do this. Okay, so it's week 1, right? It's all about research this week. We want to start diving in. If you do not have a product or service to sell, this will be a big one for most everybody on this phone call. I mean, there will be people that have products or services in mind. There is a video within the members area that is titled, should be something along the lines of what to do if you don't have a product or service to sell. That's in module 1. Go into the module 1 and check out that video on research. If you do not have a product or service to sell right now, I want you to just make something up. Pick a product. It's better if you pick an ideal client, or something that you potentially would be creating if you're an entrepreneur in the future. So just pick something to get started. This becomes so much more easy, the research process, as we go through again and again and again. It becomes so much faster. You niche down, you start to understand the marketplace a lot more easily. But for this first time through, you do need a product or service to sell. And if it's stressing you the hell out to pick something, to make something up, just guess. Just pick something that you think might be interesting, a product or service that you're interested in buying yourself, something that you can just do some research around. Having a product in mind will help quite a bit for this first time through. So again, watch that video if you do not have a product or service to sell. We're in research, and this first week is going to be a little slow as far as we're just looking at some older ads for the most part and trying to get familiar with the hand copying exercise. And it's a weird one. It's a weird one, and it's a little bit of an individualized journey. Of course, I've tried to systemize this as much as possible. For me, I think the best way to learn, but really CopyHour is about learning and teaching you how to learn copywriting. It's kind of weird, but CopyHour teaches you how to learn copywriting. Okay, so there's this is more of a habit product. This is a foundational habit product. This is not a templatized course, although there are like a lot of, you could almost draw some templates out of what we're doing, or create your own. And that's actually even better. If you can create your own templates, that's much better than me giving you templates for this particular course, because we're just learning this skill of copywriting. And I'm teaching you how to learn copywriting. And one of those elements is hand copying a little bit. We don't have to do a ton of it, but just a little bit of hand copying does help with memory. It helps with idea generation. The only science that we have around hand copying is basically around language learning and writing with a pen. And there's something magical that happens when these two things are working in conjunction with each other and writing. And when I say magical, I mean there's just more brain activity. So the only real science that we have is related to memory and recall. So when you are hand copying, you are effectively starting to memorize certain pieces of copy. And so that's one major part of it. Also, another major part of it is just getting a quick little dopamine hit in the morning to accompany your learning. It is not a hard exercise, right? It's not hard to write with like literally just to hand copy something, to look at something and copy it down word for word. That's not hard to do, but it's absolutely not an easy exercise to get through. So when you're done with it, you feel like you've accomplished something. And so that's what's going on. And those little wins, and confidence is such a huge thing when it comes to writing. Confidence is like the number one thing when it comes to writing. If you don't feel confident, it's extremely hard to write anything. It's extremely hard to put yourself out there. So if you do have a little exercise that is going to just give you a little hit of dopamine, give you a tiny bit of confidence, that can be enough. If we stack it day after day after day, that can be enough to kind of turn the tides and tip the scales. So that's part of what's going on with hand copying. And yeah, so let me, I guess before I jump into some of the specifics, let's look at this here. So each assignment, and this is Rome research. If anybody is like a research nerd, like I am, check out Rome research. There are some other ones. I actually even have the capability now to take my iPad and I have the Apple Pencil and take that and actually write directly into Rome, which I'm pretty excited about. So the every assignment that we do is going to fit this structure, or I'm going to kind of tell you how it fits this structure. Generally, and that's very generally, hold on 1 second. I need to pull this up for myself. Generally, a successful sales message is going to fit this structure. And it kind of doesn't matter what particular sales message medium it is, whether it's an email or if this is a long form sales page, an advertorial, can even be some bits of content marketing. You can kind of use this format as well. Whatever it might be, whatever piece of like persuasive messaging that you're writing, it's typically going to follow this pattern. And there are no rules in copy, and you'll hear me say this a lot throughout CopyHour. There are no rules in copy, only conversions. But typically, this is going to be a good starting place for you. And there are 4 sections that we look at. Let me just hide these sections. So there are 4 sections that we look at: the lead, the sales argument, the offer, and the close. So you start a sales message with the lead, where you introduce the big idea, you introduce a promise of some sort. Then from there, and we're going to learn about these individual topics. From there, you transition very seamlessly or easily into a sales argument, which is basically just describing the opportunity surrounding your product for the most part. And there's a couple different ways that we can do this. We either use an opportunity style sales argument, or we use a myths and misconceptions style sales argument. And I'm not going to go any deeper than that, but this is typically what we do. Then in the offer, this is where you have the features and the benefits of your product. So this is where you're going to see in sales message, they say introducing, or that's basically the number one. Introducing this thing, right? This product. And here are the features and benefits of this product. Then from there, you want to close. And the close is probably the easiest or the most formulaic part of this entire process. And there are certain things that we want to say within the close in order to get somebody to purchase now. And that's the point of the close, is to purchase now, not later. So each assignment that we look at, for the most part, I am going to tell you how it fits in to this particular sales message structure. Okay, so is this a lead? And then how does this lead then transition into the sales argument and the offer and the close? How does this particular element, so I call these little parts here elements. So, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, these are all elements that you can include. Don't do that. And that's basically it. Okay, so each part of our sales message or each assignment that we look at, I'm going to try to tell you how this could be used within this sales message structure. Okay, so now the actual hand copying itself. So basically what's going to happen is you're going to get an email the night before. The idea is that you read the email or at least read the email and then read the assignment. You can do this the night before. And then in the morning, you wake up and get to work. So a little bit about routines and habits. I like to do things that are the most important tasks immediately right in the morning, because that means that I'm not going to put them off and then they're just not going to get done later. If you have a different routine or schedule where you cannot do it immediately in the morning, I understand. I'm a parent. I get it. You might have a period of time later in the day that is blocked off and just you can protect. It just needs to be a period of time that you can protect and devote. A lot of these assignments are definitely not going to be an hour, well under an hour. But maybe you can block off an hour where you could read, or you could even do your own writing during that time. You could hand copy, reading, or writing are basically the things that you want to be doing during this course. So if there's an hour where you can just solidly block it off a day, that's great. If it's only 10 minutes, I understand. So it just needs to be a period of time in your day that is protected, and it's not like, oh, well, sometimes on Tuesday nights I go to Taco Tuesdays with my coworkers. If it's one of those time periods, that's just not really going to work. Maybe it's got to be during lunch. Maybe it's got to be some other time. So just think about when you can do something and get it done. And really, something that I hear from a lot of different people is that just doing the handwriting exercises and just doing CopyHour is enough to feel like you've accomplished something in a day, which is weird to say, but it just feels like forward momentum. Even if very little physically was produced at the end of the day, just doing this exercise can make it feel like you at least did something for your business, for your career. And by the way, if you're a freelancer, that is your business, right? Let's get serious here. You own a business if you are a freelance copywriter. You are the business. You are the one right now providing the services within the business. But let's get serious about it. You are the business. All right. So it will make it feel you might have a different experience. You might have a different journey. It should feel like you have some sort of forward momentum just doing the hand copying exercise during the day. So that is basically it for that. So, okay, so the night before you're getting the assignment, read through it if you want. You don't have to. Wake up in the morning and pull up the piece of copy. I'm using this thing called Toggle Track, which I highly recommend. It's free. Sign up for this thing. Oh, here, I need to show it to you. Timers are weird. Timers are interesting. It's having a timer just counting down keeps me on task so much more than really anything else. So much more than drugs, than Adderall. Just having a tracker or a timer counting down does a lot of things. Okay. It just helps keep you on task. And also, like, if you start using this toggle track thing, you can start seeing where you're wasting time and how effective or ineffective you are, or efficient or not efficient you are at the things that you're doing. So I've been tracking almost everything that I'm doing, starting even now to start tracking like time that not work time, like house time. How much time am I spending doing certain things, cleaning, dishes, all that stuff. So it's really something worth checking out. So this can kind of cover your timer element, or you can just get an analog timer or some sort of timer that you buy on Amazon. They're like $6 or $7, and you can check that out and just start a timer. I say 33 minutes. Doesn't have to be 33 minutes, but that was just something that Eugene Schwartz, who is a kind of the CopyHour godfather, used to say. Like that was basically the max amount of time consecutively that your brain can stay on task. So we're approaching that on this phone call right now. We're at 31 minutes. So it's something to keep in mind. The timer can be a big help in everything, even beyond hand copying. Okay, so basically set a timer, pull up your piece of copy, and go from there. And really, here, let's see if I can maybe get this bigger. Why is this not getting bigger? Zoom in. Huh. Well, you should be able to zoom in. It has something to do with my screen sharing app right now that I can't zoom in on this anymore. But let me just quickly show you. So I have an iPad that I've been using for hand copying. And let me just show you what my hand copying looks like. After running CopyHour for a decade, this is what my handwriting looks like. So I'd look at A Fluke of Nature. So I'm looking at it right now. Then, okay, so I'm going to go down to the next one. I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer. And the story I tell you is absolute truth, as incredible as it may seem. Okay. This is what my handwriting looks like. Horrible. Horrible handwriting. After 10 years of doing this, do not focus on handwriting. What you want to focus on is kind of nothing. You want to be a little bit meditative, and it could turn into a meditation for you. What I generally find is that hand copying is the most useful for me at this point for idea generation. So I take notes while I'm hand copying. So I'll hand copy and then I'll stop and I'll be like, I'll move over to my next notebook. Sometimes I keep them side by side so that I can write down notes on ideas that I'm getting for the various businesses that I'm involved in. So right now I'm working on, CopyHour is my biggest thing at this moment. Like since 2017, I've basically gone full time on CopyHour. But for a long time, I was involved with my wife's business, who is an organic skincare company. And I'm no longer involved with that business. My wife and I are still together, solid, having a second child together, which is hard to do if you go into business with your significant other. Just a bit of advice: don't start a business with your wife or your husband. There, and then I'm also working on a podcast right now, which is basically like a true crime podcast. Might even be an anti-true crime, like a critical take on the true crime podcast industry. I'm working on that right now. I have a really interesting story of a former classmate, friend, acquaintance that ended up murdering somebody, or allegedly murdering somebody, in a foreign country. So I've been working on that podcast. So basically, I've got all these ideas floating around in my brain at all times. So when I hand copy, I like to take notes. And what happens is, like, we do have some science here on when these two things are working in conjunction, there's increased brain activity happening. So your brain is firing more when you write, which is, I've always found that like I cannot remember for the life of me what, like, I'll go to the grocery store, and if I don't make a list that I hand copy before the grocery store, I just simply won't remember what to buy. And I often will forget the number one thing that I went there to get. So there's a lot more brain activity happening when you're hand copying, when you're using these two things together. So generally what I find is that I get a lot of ideas for other businesses that I'm working on. And a lot of them for CopyHour. I mean, it makes sense, right? But yeah, you're going to get a lot of ideas. So you might want to have another notebook or some other thing that you can quickly pull up next to the hand copying so that you can take notes on all the different ideas that you're going to be having, which is what, in my mind, it's one of the main benefits to me these days of hand copying. When I was first hand copying and doing a lot of this, I felt like my way of speaking and selling just was increasing dramatically every single day. Just my ability to have recall, my like transitions. Transitions are typically kind of a hard thing for people. It's like, how do I transition from this section to the next section? And my transitions seem to seamlessly explode or seamlessly happen when I was hand copying a lot. So you got to kind of notice for yourself what it is, what it becomes. To some people, it's just straight up a meditation. They check out, and it's okay. I think it's okay to kind of check out while you're doing it. If you find that you've gone paragraph after paragraph without even looking at something, and it's something that you do want to slow down and study, then you can go back and do it again. Or if you want, just keep going and not even worry about it. So it's a little bit of an individualized journey. You know, I've talked to so many different people about it. So many people use it in different ways. So it's up to you a little bit about what you're going to do with the hand copying. Okay, so I can take some questions now because I feel like I've covered basically everything that goes into this course. So you can, after you're done hand copying, you can come back to the Facebook group or wherever we're going to move this thing and check in, like other people's posts. You can share your photo to the events tab in CopyHour. And what's going to happen, this has been a long, long time coming. People that have been with me for a while are probably going to laugh at this, but we are working on a certification program. So after you're done with CopyHour, if you can show us that you've done the hand copying exercise, that's one part of it. But then there's going to be a quiz that you'll take, and then also a small writing assignment in order to get certified as like a CopyHour certified graduate. I don't even know what we'd want to call it, but get a certification from CopyHour, which is a very highly respected name in the industry these days. Okay? We're respected around here. So if you want to share your photos, or if you want to get a certification, please start taking some photos of your hand copying. And then if you put them into Facebook, we'll be able to kind of track them from there. And we are going to try and make the certification process hard. So I don't want just everybody getting the certification. And then again, the hand copying is just one part of it. People think that I'm like this crazy from the outside, and I can understand it because it's kind of the differentiator for CopyHour in the marketplace. But I am not a hand copying like Nazi. I have found it to be helpful. If you don't feel that it's helpful for you, you can still get so much out of CopyHour without doing it. But I just feel there's enough like pseudoscience surrounding hand copying. There's enough people that no longer hand copy at all that I feel like it's a competitive advantage to do it, because of like it's amazing the ideas, the just the sense of well-being and the sense of feeling good and the sense of confidence that you get after you do the handwriting exercise. It's not to be discounted. Confidence is such a nebulous thing to explain and to provide it's easy to just say, just be confident and write, but that in practice is extremely difficult. So, yeah. Anyways, don't discount the confidence don't discount like the weird nuance, woo-woo confidence that you might get from this exercise. I haven't. I think that I think that's helpful. So on that note, I'm going to read a testimonial. So part of my job throughout this process with you is where is my other thing? Okay. Part of my job in CopyHour is to basically sell you on a couple things. Sell you on yourself that you can do this. Sell you on the hand copying exercise kind of continually. Sell you on this course and the training materials. And yeah, those are mainly the two things. I need to continue to sell you, and this is a good lesson if you have a product or you're going to be creating your own products, is even after you've made the sale, you need to keep selling people on the concept and the idea that they've made the right choice. And so here's a testimonial that I got from Robert Allen, who I think some of you might be on his email list now. He's a fantastic copywriter, known in a bunch of different circles. And so this is what he wrote to me 3 days ago. So this is from Rob 3 days ago. Hey, Derek, I've been on your list for quite some time, but never actually told you how much your work meant to me. I'm a former employee of Ramit Sethi's, and when I first started there, I had no idea what I was doing. I was working at a bank when I got the job. I just replied to one of Ramit's emails one day, and he liked my style enough to say, "We like your writing. Want to work for us?" So I quit my job the next day, seriously, and began my career as a copywriter. This is the part where I'm supposed to say it was all magic and rainbows from there on out. But the truth is, I had no idea what I was signing up for. In the beginning, I struggled a lot. I even got close to being fired. So this is being fired from Ramit, and I will teach you to be rich. One day, my manager pulled me aside and said, "Look, you've got raw skill, but you are not going to make it here unless you turn things around. You should take this CopyHour course." Of course, I didn't want to get fired, so I dove headfirst into the materials, and slowly but surely, my writing improved. Eventually, I was even allowed to run a few launches, and by the time I left, I was able to get a senior copywriting job at draxe.com, where I would really earn my stripes. I'd go on to work with dozens more brands, Agora, Jump Cut, and others. I saw you were relaunching the program this week and made me think, what would have happened had I never got access to CopyHour? Anyway, I'm really grateful for the work you do, and I wish you continued success and greatness. Okay, so I did not ask him for the testimonial. He just sent me that. That's the power of what can happen here if you apply. And there's also another book that I think you guys might be interested in checking out. It's called Mindset. And in the book Mindset, there are two different types of mindsets that people typically have, and you can kind of flow in between each one. There is a fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset. In the fixed mindset, people typically think that you are born with an innate talent and there is essentially a ceiling that you have, a max place that you can go, and you are kind of stuck in your ways of thinking. Then there's the growth mindset, which is basically, I just need to work hard in order to make this happen, right? And I can learn these things, and I don't need the innate skill. Or if other people are more innately talented than I am, then I'm just going to have to work a little bit harder than those people. And the typical person that comes into CopyHour, I think, can kind of understand this mindset, this growth mindset. There are typically the people that struggle with this program are kind of in a fixed mindset where they think, I have to be the most innately talented writer. I can never do this. They're kind of backing into the course, already doubting their ability to make a change and doubting their innate talents. Okay, you do not have to have innate talent in order to make it as a copywriter. Okay, You don't. And there's all sorts of examples from history on this topic of people that were not the most insanely, innately talented. They were just able and willing to work a little bit harder than the next guy. And so if you can approach CopyHour with that mindset, you are going to be in a lot better place. If you can approach it with that mindset of, you know what, even if I'm not the most innately talented, I can still make this work. I can still carve out my own space in this industry. I just need to work a little bit harder. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, I will leave this first assignment as is. I mean, we've already been talking for 45 minutes here. If there are any questions that you guys have about this particular piece of copy, we can get into it. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of let you marinate on your own thoughts on this particular piece of copy. It's also an older one. So yeah, I mean, a few things that I do want you to take from this, and this stuff still applies to today, is this is an ad, right? It's an advertisement. What does it look like? What does this piece of copy, this piece of sales copy look like? It looks like content. So you found this in a newspaper, right? And so what should your ad look like? Should it look like a piece of content, or should it look like an ad? Certain times it's okay to have an ad, right? In the ads section, it's great. But this is an opportunity that you have to match the medium, and so have a full page article like this, advertorial, that looks like it was a newspaper article, right? So the same can be said of a lot of different pieces of copy that you're going to be working on. If you're writing an email, probably should kind of look like an email that you would send to your friend. That's an opportunity that you have. A lot of people, brands don't really go that way, but it is an opportunity that they have to do kind of plain text emails that kind of look like they come from a friend. So there's that opportunity. If you are writing a blog post, or you're writing a sales page, you could have it look like an article to start, right? Like it kind of looks like a blog post, and then kind of halfway down the page, it's becoming clear that it's a sales page. That's an opportunity that you have. So if you're, and this works more for like traditional ads in the sense of like Facebook ads. If you are running Facebook ads, you should throw in some ads that look like a post that somebody might have on their wall. So it kind of matches what it would look like. Same can be said of YouTube. If you're running YouTube ads, like maybe the beginning of your video ad kind of looks like a piece of content that somebody would put up. Maybe it's done on a handheld phone and it's not done with a professional camera. You can try doing those things. And what happens is basically people feel like they're going to know instinctively that it's an ad, but they will kind of give you a little bit more space to get deeper into your sales message if you can match the medium. Oh yeah, and I need to sell you on me. Sure, yeah. Sure. Tall, handsome. I mean, actually, you can't really tell how tall I am. I'm not that tall. I'm one of those 5'11" people that it's just the most frustrating thing in the world to be 5'11". I almost made it. So that's it. That's what I want to mention today. Any other questions? Oh, book. You guys should pick a book. So pick a book to read while you're doing CopyHour. Not every assignment is going to be an hour long of hand copying. It is good to read. Pick up the book Influence for kind of basic underlying sales persuasion principles. That's one of my biggest main recommendations to start the course. There's also some other ones on that blog post that was linked in your assignment. Pick a book, and we're going to start reading those and checking those out. So All right, I'm going to jump off. I will be back very soon. We are going to figure out exactly what we're going to do with the Facebook group and getting going from there. Please, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. These calls work much more seamlessly and much better when we have questions to answer, or when I have questions to answer. So that's it. I'm going to jump off, and I will talk to you all again very, very soon. Thank you so much. Bye.